Hey, so reflecting on what we talked about last time, which was really some of our negative self-talk and how to shift ourselves out of that. So the first thing is recognizing we're doing it. And we all question ourselves, right? None of us have all this confidence in the world about everything we're going to do, especially when it's something new. And that's when that negative self-talk comes in and those doubts come in. But there's typically also one that plays over in our head all the time. So yes, we have all these different ones throughout the day, throughout the week, but there's typically one that we have playing over and over and over again. And I've done an activity with groups of people where they write down what that one thing is. And when we read them back, it is the most powerful thing to watch the emotion of people when they hear what others say about themselves. And then realizing that one of those things read was something they're saying about themselves. And you start to really see the impact that it has and start to realize, what is this doing to me over time that I constantly say this to myself? And none of us would ever say it to anybody else. And when we hear other people say it about themselves, we get very emotional and almost upset. Like, why would you say that about yourself? And we start to argue it, right? We start to prove to them why they shouldn't say that and why that's not true. So we need to turn that on ourselves and think about, what is the one thing I'm constantly saying to myself? And is it true? If my daughter said that about herself, what would I say? I would argue it with her. If my mother was saying that about herself, my best friend, any woman, anybody, you would have an argument and try to defend why that is not true. So what I challenge you to do is write down that one thing that constantly plays in your head. Write it down, read it, and be upset about it. Be upset that you say this about yourself every day, all the time. And think about what it is ultimately doing to you and to your belief about yourself. And then I want you to challenge yourself. What is the evidence you have for saying that about yourself? And think about, what would someone else say if they heard you say that? What's the argument they would have with you against that? And that is going to start to shift just a little bit the way we think, and it's going to start to get us to recognize what we're doing. So those are really the first two steps: recognizing we're doing it and write it down and say it out loud to yourself. And from there, we're going to take our next steps to move past this.